Good morning. Ooh, there is something in my eye. Maybe it's probably just sleep. Good morning. 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 Hello, all. Welcome. It is 8:08 a.m. Thursday, December 9th. We're trucking on along in this month. And we are here for another morning affirmation. We are almost at the end of our I am worthy of joy affirmations. I got kind of emotional last time. And let me tell y'all why I got a little emotional last time. Because the message that I delivered yesterday really hit hard and really hit heavy. I was joking about how I always, at the end of them or when I read them, I'm always like, this was my favorite. This was my favorite. But really, yesterday, I think was one of my favorites. Not to say that today won't be just as good or just as enlightening, but my emotions yesterday was a reflection of how I'm actually genuinely invested in trying to spread some love and joy and peace into other people. It came from a real, deep, a real genuine place. And you could probably see it across my face as it happened. So I'm just really blessed to be able to be in a state of mind to want to start my day off positively and want to share it with you guys, and I'm blessed to have found a community of folk who have been rocking with me. We've been doing this for 6 weeks, and you guys are still rocking with me, whether it be in the live or in the playback. And so, it's just been a beautiful, amazing experience. It's been enlightening for me. It's been enlightening for others. We've been growing up, changing, and spreading love, peace, and joy. So with that being said, today we are on message 9 of 10 of our I Am Worthy of Joy series. So we're about to wrap this up. I said at the end of yesterday's live, so I said at the beginning of this one in case you didn't catch it. After this week, I will be taking a break. Oh, good morning, Mom. You're beautiful and amazing. Thank you. After this week, I will be taking a break into the new year. But I've decided that I'm going to be doing 100 Days of Happy in the new year. And what that means is that I'll just be, for 100 days, I will just be giving a statement about something that makes me happy. Something large, something small. Morning, Coco. Good to see you again. So I'll be sharing with you guys something large, something small, throughout my day at some point in those 100 days. That makes me happy. I've done this before on my personal profile, but it'll look a little bit different, and you guys will be able to see that as we roll into the new year. But yeah, so if you would like to participate in 100 Days of Happy with me and share your 100 Days of Happy, I would absolutely love that you like, comment, share on my posts when you see them come up in the new year. So that'll be that, and I'll probably come back and talk about it a little bit more once we get closer to the start of the new year. But yeah, so after these last two, today and tomorrow, no more affirmations, or no more new affirmations for a little bit, but that's okay. We're still gonna be rocking together, and we're still gonna be sharing love and spreading light and positivity, and light into dark places. That's the purpose. Okay. So with that being said, let's get into today's affirmation. The affirmation for the day is, I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. I am worthy of receiving moments of joy during difficult circumstances. So when I read that one this morning, the very first thing that came to mind was grief. If you've ever lost anyone close to you, it was meant for me to be here for this morning glory. You know what, Coco? I'm glad that you feel like this one was meant for you. And I get that a lot. You know, whenever you see this, if you're watching it in the live, if you're watching the playback, if it hits you and it resonates with you, it got you right on time. So good. I'm glad. God bless. So like I was saying, the first thing I think of is grief. And if you've ever lost anybody that's close to you, significant to you, and you're going through the grief process, when you hit that sadness and that darkness of it, you know, once you hit that time period, particularly after the funeral, when you're expected to kind of go ahead and just live the rest of your life, it can be really difficult. It can be really dark, and there could be a lot of guilt that comes along with feeling good, experiencing joy, having lighthearted moments because of a variety of things. Number one, when good things happen and you want to share them with the person who you lost, it kind of takes away the it can kind of deflate the bloom of your joy. You're like, oh, this great thing happened, I can't wait to tell. They're not here. But outside of those moments, it could get difficult to even feel like you're even worthy to have joy, because you may feel like, well, I haven't grieved long enough to be laughing this hard, or I'm supposed to be sad, and so I'm not supposed to be happy. It gets really complicated when you're the person in the center of the grief, missing someone, losing someone, because your circumstance says that I should be sad, and there's this weird air of guilt that comes along with being happy. But I'm here to tell you, you're worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. Even though you're grieving, even though you miss people, even though you may have lost them, you still deserve to not only have joy, but enjoy those moments of joy and relish in the fact that you're still here to live another day, to walk another day, to experience more things. And even though those people who are not here with you cannot experience those things with you anymore, if they truly loved you, they would want you to experience those things anyways. They would want you to continue to experience moments of joy, especially in those dark times. I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. I got a story time, and I hope my mom doesn't mind me sharing it, which I don't think she would, but I think back to when I was young. There was a time in which we were homeless. We were living in a shelter. And while we were there, one of the things that my mom did was she went through the stacks of books that they had there, and she would just sit me and my brother down and with any of the other kids around and read like children's books to us. And being homeless, being in a homeless shelter, being around all of these people who are dealing with this significantly unsavory circumstance, you would think that this is not the place for you to be trying to breed moments of joy. But in those moments where she would sit us down and it was me and my brother and all these other little kids sitting around on the floor at her feet, you know, listening to these stories, those were moments of joy. We didn't feel like we were kids in a homeless shelter. It felt like a kindergarten or a daycare. And I distinctly remember that being just a moment of beauty. Good morning, Cousin Seal. Oh, my best friend Leather is here too. Good morning, guys. We're doing morning affirmations, and today's affirmation is, I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. And so I was just talking about how there was a time when my family was homeless, and my mom used to read books to me and the other kids in the homeless shelter a lot. And it really preserved our minds. It really preserved our psyche to be able to have some sense of normalcy, some sense of excitement, because we used to be excited to be like, okay, what book we reading now? And there was just so much anguish in that space because people were struggling so tough. But even in those desolate times, that is when it's most important to find your moments of joy. When you are in those dark circumstances, and you do not have to carry the guilt of the overarching burden of the circumstance just because you are happy. Guilt can come with guilt can come with happiness if you don't feel like you deserve to be happy in those unsavory moments. Ace just heard your voice saying good morning, and it made his ears perk, and he looked at the phone. Oh, Ace is my nephew dog. It's my best friend's dog. But yeah, I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. So if this holiday season, if you find yourself not being able to buy what you wanted to buy, or go where you wanted to go, or do what you wanted to do, or be with who you wanted to be with, even though the overarching theme of your life right now is difficult and dark and maybe bleak, you might have physical health problems that are keeping you from doing all of the things that you want to do, you still are worthy of experiencing moments of joy. And not just experiencing moments of joy, but savoring those moments of joy, internalizing those moments of joy, enjoying those moments of joy. Because in a dark phase of your life, those moments may feel like they come few and far between. So when they come, let them come and let them blossom to help pull you out of that dark space. Oh, my nephew dog is looking for me because he heard me say his name. I'm sorry, buddy. I'll be back there soon enough. He's gonna be so sad. But anyhow, back on subject. Yes, in those dark times, in those gloomy moments, in those when your life is looking overarchingly unsavory, if a moment of joy comes in and tries to make itself known, take it by the hand and let it do what it came to do. Let it bring light into those dark places of your day. Let it grow. Don't dismiss it. Don't discount it. Because I know as people, we have a tendency, if everything around us seems to be falling to shambles and one good thing comes in, we have a tendency to be like, yeah, but what? Yeah, don't get the but. Just, yeah, I'm allowed to enjoy this moment. Even if it's a terrible week and you just get an ice cream cone, enjoy your ice cream cone for that moment. And move on. Because the negativity has a way of eclipsing everything. Negativity is so strong, and negativity is strong for a reason. Negativity is strong and eclipses lots of other things because of it's a survival mechanism. When we were out here in nature, in the bush, trying to figure out what was what on this planet Earth, it was important for us to remember where the poison berries were versus where the healthy berries were. Why? Because if we knew where the poison berries were, we could remember not to go over there and die. And so it was important that we kept that negative information. It was important that we kept that information at the ready and that we focused on it. But because of that mindset, because of that programming, sometimes that takes precedent over the other things, and biologically our brains can't differentiate between what we did for survival when we were becoming human beings and figuring out planet Earth, and what we do for survival and what is and isn't survival now. Be grateful for the positive in the midst of all the negative. Absolutely. Be grateful for the positive in the midst of the negative. Be grateful that you have access to joy in the midst of all the sorrow. It is hard when the overarching theme of your life at the moment is negativity, is darkness, is sadness, is pain, physical, mental, spiritual anguish. It is hard. It is hard sometimes to even recognize the moments of joy, let alone savor them. But you are worthy of experiencing moments of joy. You are worthy of internalizing those moments of joy. You're worthy of savoring those moments of joy. You deserve that. Even if it is just for a moment. You deserve that, and you're worthy of that. And it is okay. And you don't let anybody guilt you into seeking joy in the midst of sorrow. And most importantly, don't let yourself guilt you into feeling some type of way about seeking joy in moments of sorrow. Another story time. When my great grandmother passed a couple of years ago, I told my son and my brothers, I was like, oh, this funeral finna be lit. And they thought that that was the most absurd statement that I could ever say in life. But let me tell you how the rest of the weekend played out. Bunch of family members who I hadn't seen in ages, if ever, came into town. We all were hanging out in your hotel. We were swimming in the swimming pool. We went to the funeral. It was a beautiful ceremony. We had the repast. In the basement of the church, we was eating chicken and running around clowning and taking pictures and having a really good time. And at the end of it, I told y'all I was going to be lit. And they were like, you were right. That was actually fun. It felt more like a family reunion than it did a funeral. Like, yes. Because for the most part, even though it was a sorrowful occasion, we lost somebody. We lost our matriarch. We lost the head of our family. Even though it was a sorrowful moment, it was a reason to rejoice because she lived a long, beautiful life. We got an opportunity to see one another. And what's the sense of sitting around in sadness when, first of all, my family is hilarious, so we're not going to let you just sit around and be anyways. But what is the sense of sitting around in sadness instead of enjoying these moments of joy while we have each other, while we have the opportunity to be together and be in communion with one another? Why spend it sitting around like, woe is me, behind someone who you can't stay here forever anyways? And yes, some of those circumstances, some funerals are harder to take than others, but that one, you know, it was a celebration. It was a homegoing. And we treated it as such. And I know afterwards it was difficult for certain family members. I know my papa took it difficult because I was his mother that he lost. But the memories and the connections that we were able to make over that weekend have been lasting. My cousin Sylviana was on here this morning. She's one of the people who I was able to bond with through that experience. Why? Because we allowed ourselves to relish in those moments of joy. Allow yourself to experience the full extent of your emotions, the full extent of your feelings. Because depression doesn't just come from being sad. Depression comes from denying your feelings and blunting the extent of how you feel things to the point where you feel nothing. So if you want to feel happy, allow yourself to feel happy. Which sometimes that accompanies with feeling sad as well. But it's okay. You're worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. Sorrow makes the joy that much more sweet. Comment. Sorrow does make the joy that much more sweet. Because it gives you contrast. It gives you context. Because everything in this world ain't bright. And sometimes we go through seasons in life that are just hard. Sometimes we are in seasons of life that are just challenging, whether it be the job, our families, our health. Sometimes we go through seasons of life that are just challenging. And they may be intentionally challenging to build and or challenge and or test our character. But even so, in the midst of that, you are worthy of experiencing moments of joy. even during difficult circumstances. I was talking to a client at one point, and I asked her if she in her prayer life had asked God to make her wait easy as she was trying to wait on the next thing that was coming in her life. And she was like, no, like who, like how, like why should we even do that? And I'm like, because even in the wait for figuring out what you're going to do in your life next, you can experience moments of joy. It does not have to be difficult. Is that Callie? Good morning, girl. We're doing affirmations this morning. The affirmation today is, I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. And so in me instructing her to, ask for, some levity in the wait, I also brought up an example of, we come from a lineage, brown people come from a lineage of enslaved folks. And they did not spend all of the entirety of their day just crying in those fields. There was singing going on in those fields. And all of that singing wasn't just messages. Some of that singing was to pass the time and bring some levity and bring moments of joy during difficult circumstances. You can't tell me that being an enslaved person isn't a difficult circumstance. But out of that was birthed so many beautiful things. The blues was birthed out of finding moments of joy during difficult circumstances. Finding moments of joy during difficult circumstances and being creative with that is how we come up with some of our greatest accomplishments and inventions as humans. Because we allow ourselves to experience life in some sort of fullness, instead of allowing darkness to consume every single avenue in which we exist. So if you find yourself in a dark place, when moments and orbs of light come your direction, allow them to enter in. Savor them. And even if they be temporary, allow them to be. As temporary as they may be, allow them to be. Because you're worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. You can laugh while you're broke. You can smile while you're homeless. You ever visit somebody in a hospital and they seem to be in good spirits, despite the fact that they are attached to all types of tubes? Because they've learned how to access their moments of joy during difficult circumstances. And the moment of joy may only be that moment that you came and visited them. But they allow themselves to access it and savor it. Girl, I'm so broke but thankful. Yes, gratitude. Gratitude will open the door for you to be able to really appreciate moments of light that come to you during dark circumstances. Being grateful for what you have despite what you're going through. That's how you get folks that say, I don't look like what I've been through. Why? Because they've been able to relish in those moments of joy. Mother says, some of the most joyful humans I've ever known have been permanently disabled. Spending their entire life, the remainder of their life, literally unable to go anywhere without assistance. And yet they're joyful. Why? Because they understand the concept that joy is not always in abundant supply. There's sometimes that you have to seek it out in some of the smallest places. And that your laughter is still present, even if you can't move. Moments of joy. Moments of joy. I'm worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. Got a terminal patients may be jovial. Why do you think they have the Make-A-Wish Fund? Why do you think they have the Make-A-Wish Fund? Why? Because people who are facing illness and death are still worthy of experiencing moments and circumstances of joy despite how difficult their circumstances. Joy is a revolutionary act. Because if people can take your joy and keep your joy, they can control you. But if you can maintain your joy and find your joy even in the darkest of moments, you maintain your power. Because you maintain your sanity and you maintain your light. I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. So if you find yourself sitting in a difficult space during this holiday season or during any other season of the year, any other season of your life, and moments of joy try to peek their way in while you're trying to figure it all out, while you're trying to navigate that darkness, while you're trying to navigate that sorrow, while you're trying to navigate those physical illnesses, those mental illnesses, allow yourself to let that joy come in. Good morning. Our affirmation for today is, I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. If you've ever encountered a person who is ornery despite whatever it is you try to do for them, you understand what that life is like when you don't allow joy to come in. If you've ever tried to cheer somebody up and they go, that's what it looks like when you don't allow the joy to come in, when you don't allow yourself to experience those moments. So that's part of the reason why, like I said at the beginning, if you didn't catch at the beginning of the live, after this week, I'm not doing any more new affirmations. We're going to round out these last two today and tomorrow. And then I'm going to take a pause until the beginning of the new year. And then I'm going to do 100 Days of Happy, in which I'll be sharing a moment of happiness for 100 days in a row. The 100 Days of Happy is moments of joy. And as that unfolds, you guys will get an opportunity to see how I find joy in some of the most weird places. They may seem mundane, or they may seem odd, or may seem trivial. And some of them are great and profound. Because I've done this before to help pull myself out of a dark place, and some of the things that I found being sometimes the only happy thing that I had in the day was I found a pen that writes real good, and I didn't lose it. And that might be all I have, but you know what? I tapped into that moment of joy, and I allowed myself to experience it regardless of how big or how small it was, because I'm worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. It might be all I got, might be all I have in that day, might be just that one moment of joy. But I'm living it, and I'm savoring it, and I'm internalizing it. And so, when I do the 100 Days of Happy, I'll be sharing it. Y'all will see. Y'all don't think I'm weird. I don't care if y'all think I'm weird. If y'all here, you probably already know I'm a little weird. When you lose your ability to identify moments of joy, you've successfully moved into a miserable life. And I don't want that for you. I want you to always have access to joy, even in your most difficult of circumstances, even in your most darkest of times. I'm worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. You might have to seek them out. You might have to pull them in, or they may just come to you. But keep your eyes open, keep your heart open to recognize them, receive them, relish in them. And don't be afraid to allow them to just be temporary, because more moments of joy will come. That's not the only moment of joy that you'll have. Coco said we all have a little weird in us, girl. Coco, you don't know me. I think almost everybody on this live right now. No, not leather. Everybody on this live right now has known me for like at least 10 years. And the most of y'all have known me for all 33 years of my life. So if y'all find me weird just behind my 100 days of happy, like, you never knew me. I'm worthy of experiencing moments of joy during difficult circumstances. Be mindful as you move through this life that you might be somebody's moment of joy in their difficult circumstance. That's a little bit why I'm weird. Because I'd rather you encounter me and think I'm weird and allow me to be that random moment of joy with that girl that you seen than be a point of sorrow, pain, agitation because of your encounters with me. So allow your moments of joy to exist and be a moment of joy for somebody else. Coco said her kids think that she weird every day. Coco, I be seeing your TikToks. You do be weird every day with the kids. But that is beautiful because they need it. Because some of those children are going back into homes that there are no moments of joy. Or if there are moments of joy, that the people in that space do whatever they can to destroy every moment of joy that is in existence. That happens. There are people out here who are living with folk who are their side mission in life is to destroy every moment of joy. So be a moment of joy for someone. And if you're around someone like that, do not allow them to have power and dominion over your mind. Because you're worthy. I am worthy of experiencing moments of joy. But particularly during difficult circumstances, you have permission. You have authority. It's necessary. I think I'm done with that one. Come on, y'all. Let's go on up and pray. My God. The knower, seer, beer, doer, thinker of all things, we come to you, we thank you, and we praise you for allowing us to get up every day and just be, allowing us access to moments of joy, allowing us access to you, who is the source of all things, including love, peace, and joy. We ask that you open our hearts and our minds so that we can see, receive, and savor moments of joy. We ask that you bring in light as we deal with our difficulties of this world. We ask for your guidance through our difficulties of this world, so that as we try to put one foot in front of the other, that it is the brightest experience that it can be, that we are learning what we need to learn, and that we are depending on one another we're depending on one another for our sense of community. We ask that in our quest for our sense of community, that you allow us to be the light for other people, whether we know we're being that light or not. That we allow other people in our presence to have moments of joy, especially when they're in difficult circumstances, that you allow us to be a beacon of light. And that you put us in community with other beacons of light, so that we can all shine with your glory. Amen. Amen. I say, thank you guys so much for being here with me. And I hope that these affirmations have been a joyful experience for you guys, and it brought moments of joy into your lives, even on those difficult days, even on those bright days. So if you appreciate this message, of course, take it with you, internalize it with you, and let it color your day. And if you feel like there's somebody else who would benefit from this message, go ahead and share it with them. And encourage them to seek the light out in their day. And of course, if you want to give me any direct financial appreciation for my time and my labor and my message, you can go ahead and hit my Cash App, $sign Moesghetti. Hashtag Moesghetti is spelled just like my name. Buy me a coffee or buy me a car, whatever in your pocket, whatever in your heart. But of course, I do not do this for any sort of fame or fortune. I'm just out here trying to live my purpose on purpose. And at this point, that purpose is to spread light into dark places. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a jovial day. I hope that this moment that we shared together is a moment of joy for you throughout your day, and that it's just the beginning of a string of moments of joy throughout your whole day. I'll see y'all tomorrow at 8:08 a.m. and then I am taking a little break. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been loving.